teachers. Sometimes you love them, sometimes you hate them, sometimes you accidentally call them mom in front of the whole class. But today, we're going to be talking about bad teachers, specifically the bad ones. So, I've compiled a few stories to tell you. Also, you guys voted that I should draw Hatsune Miku next, so make sure to vote on the next poll so you can decide what I post about and what I draw in the background. Also, on my last video, and technically my first video, some guy commented that he was gooning to my art. So please don't goon to my art. Now, without further ado, let's get right into the video. Boom, boom, firepower. Please tell me you got that reference. This first story is pretty lame, but I want to save the best ones for last. So this was actually pretty recent. It happened in November of 2025. I don't know if this is a thing for other schools, but my school has career exploration. It's honestly one of the most boring classes ever, but it was not that hard. Well, it wasn't until around September, like a month after the school year started. Usually for my assignments, we have like little quick checks, which are basically the digital equivalent of a worksheet. But this teacher, she only gave assignments in portfolios. Depending on the teacher, a portfolio could be very different, but in general, it's kind of like a project. You know, you spend a few days on it, and then you submit it for a higher grade than usual assignments. They only happen like every 2 weeks, maybe a month, depending on the class, but this teacher gave them every single day. Usually they were 2-day lessons, which meant we only had to submit it after 2 days, and like in my school, late work barely even matters. But still, I prefer to get my work done as soon as it's on my agenda. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked. Anyways, so obviously I was struggling to keep up like I assume most kids were. But still, somehow, I managed to crank most of them out on time. Until this one assignment. We had to make a 4-minute-long video advertising jobs, like employment. Honestly, it's really funny. If this video gets enough views, maybe I'll post it just for funsies. Anyways, I was like 2 weeks behind on this assignment. So obviously, I emailed the teacher. I was like, hey, can I get an alternative assignment? Because this is really hard. And at the time, I didn't know the absolute beast this teacher was. She said, yeah, sure. I'll give you it soon. Another week passed. No alternative assignment was in my inbox. I emailed her again, asked her the exact same thing. She replied, oh yeah, I'll send it soon. No fucking single alternative assignment was in my inbox. At this point, I'm getting very ticked off. I cannot submit any assignments unless I have done the assignment before it, so late work in that class was just piling up. Eventually, I caved and just did the damn thing. I made it funny so I could feel better about it, but it was very, very stressful and took me like 4 days to complete. So, begrudgingly, I finally submitted that damn assignment. And you know what my mom tells me literally the very next day? Oh yeah, that teacher got fired. Fired! She got fired! So I spent 4 days of my youthful, delicate life on something that would never be graded. Not to mention, I felt worse than an elderly dog's nutsack at that time. I was coughing, I was sneezing, I was suffering, and still, I did the assignment! But the new teacher's chill, though. I don't really talk with my teachers, because, you know, not in-person school, but at least the work is easier. Okay, this next story, oh my god, this also pissed me off so much. Like, TSPMO, TBH. Let's get this straight. I absolutely love to write. I write my OC's lore, I write short stories, I write horror stories. I love it. So this story takes place in the 5th grade, I believe. I don't remember what we were writing about. I just remember we had to write I think it was an explanatory essay on something. And so I literally was sick for a few days. I'm a very sickly Victorian child. And I finished that shit in 10 minutes without like an outline. So my teacher was rightfully a little suspicious. Anyways, so the teacher was a little suspicious of Miriam. And at this time, ChatGPT was becoming widestream. I don't know. I googled it, it's widespread. Anyway, she got very suspicious and told me to hang back after class. Obviously, the little prick I was, I thought she was going to compliment me on how amazing my writing is. But she gave me the sternest look I've ever seen in my entire, only 12 years of existence at that time. Monocopsis, did you use AI to write this essay? And I was bamboozled. I did not know much about AI at the time. I was not interested. I was a creative child. I still am. So I was like, no? She asked again, Monocopsis, did you use AI? And I said, no, I don't use AI ever. I don't even know what AI means. Does it stand for Albert Einstein or something? What the fuck are you talking about? She still did not believe me. So I had to sit there after class for a full 15 minutes explaining each point I made by not reading the essay to prove I knew what I was talking about. It was not fun at all. And she was one of my favorite teachers, but I'm still mad at her for it. And now we've come to our final story. This one is a real kicker. So this teacher was actually a substitute teacher. This does matter. She was older, maybe 50s, 60s, maybe 70s. She had all the wrinkles. She had pearls on. Who wears pearls? Anyways, this was in literacy class. It was actually the same class as the last story, obviously, but the teacher was out, aka literacy or ELA. So this was silent reading time. Basically, you can read a book, or you can do it on your Chromebook too, and this does matter. We can also, the teacher, she let us sit around the room, but I just stayed at my desk because I was comfortable and no one was at my desk anyways. And usually a lot of kids misbehave, but as long as they were on their Chromebook pretending to read, but being quiet while playing games, I did not care at all. So I was sitting there reading my book when suddenly the peaceful silence, which is so rare in school, was broken by the old lady. She screamed, "What is Cornhub?" We all turned. Slow and deliberate, we all faced the back of the class. And we saw the old lady, her glasses down, her pearls clutched, staring at a kid's Chromebook. We did not even start to laugh. We were all just shocked. First of all, how the heck did this kid manage to get onto Cornhub? Second of all, why? It was literally almost the end of school. It was our last period. Our thinking was interrupted again by the old lady asking, "What is Cornhub?" At that point, we all burst out laughing. How could we not? I usually hate laughing at people, but her face and how loud she said it was hysterical. Oh my god. You see, the literacy classrooms at the school were actually one big classroom separated by dividers that could fold, but they were always up. So if you were loud enough, people on the other side could hear you. Dude, did the other side hear her screams of utter terror? The teacher from the other classroom came rushing in. We wanted to stop laughing, a few of us did, but others just couldn't. The elderly teacher was still bamboozled as the seasoned teacher, the actual teacher from the other class, dragged the kid and his Chromebook away to the library. The teacher had to step out and we had to have I think it was a janitor or something, or another teacher who was available, step out, inside the class to watch us. We had to just simply read the rest of class, which was another 30, 40 minutes, which I wasn't mad about. My book was really good. But this was the last period of the day, so we did not figure out what happened until the next day. So in that same class period, the next day, when the actual teacher was back, the principal came in. And you know what he said? Apparently, the kid's friend, who they were keeping anonymous, even though people probably already knew, had found a way to email it to the kid, without making the system, block it. We were told that we shouldn't access certain sites inside school, and especially not on school devices. No, I wasn't planning to tickle my pickle to Paw Patrol, but okay. I have never seen that poor kid the same since. Well, honestly, not poor kid. He was one of those boys that is rude and obnoxious and still is, and I don't want to ever see him again. But I felt bad for him in the moment. So this is basically just a little bit of filler because there's still time on the speed paint left. But that same substitute was reoccurring. During the Christmas season, it was like a week before break, the same elderly teacher was teaching, well, actually it was in 7th grade. The same teacher was teaching during the Christmas season. We were reading the, screenplay of, was it, the tale with, the Christmas Scrooge? And there is the little girl who sings at the beginning. Guess who was assigned to sing as the little girl? Me! She only has one singular line. And you know what that line is? Blah, 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 upon my breast. And I had to sing that in a classroom full of men and people I didn't like. I am still so pissed at that I don't know when the next one will be, but shortly after this is posted, a poll will be up to vote on the art in the background and the topic. Thank you so much for watching if you made it this far, and please consider liking and subscribing.